Industrial Agriculture by Rebecca Collins. Industrial agriculture is defined as the large scale, intensive production of crops and animals, often involving chemical fertilizer on crops or the routine harmful use of antibiotics in animals, as a way to compensate for filthy conditions even when the animals are not sick. Sadly, industrial agriculture is currently the dominant food production in the United States. Ever since the introduction of industrial technology, industrial agriculture has dominated most places. Not only does this have effect on local scales, but it can affect ecosystems globally. Obviously, deforestation is a huge concern with industrial agriculture, as it would clear out forests to create more room for agriculture. There are many different ways in which industrial agriculture has altered the biosphere, such as depletion. Monoculture exhausts soil fertility, requiring costly applications of chemical fertilizers. Irrigation. Soils used to grow annual row crops and then left bare for much of the year have poor drought resistance, increasing irrigation cost. Erosion. Monoculture degrades soil structure and leaves it more vulnerable to erosion, resulting in costs for soil replacement, cleanup, and lost farmland value. Loss of biodiversity. Industrial farms don't support the rich range of life that more diverse farms do. As a result, the land suffers from a shortage of the ecosystem services, such as pollination, that a more diverse landscape offers. Cost to human health and safety. Almost everybody is affected by industrial agriculture, in more ways than most of us are aware of. Here are some different sectors of the economy that are affected. You have pesticide toxicity. Herbicides and insecticides commonly used in agriculture have been associated with both acute poisoning and long term chronic illnesses. Water pollution from fertilizer runoff contaminates downstream drinking water supplies, requiring costly cleanup measures with an annual price tag of nearly $2 billion. Junk food. Industrial agriculture, especially in the central United States, mostly produces commodity crops like corn and soybeans. These crops are used to make the processed food that dominate the U.S. diet, with serious and enormous costly health impacts. Antibiotic resistance. The overuse of antibiotics and CFAOs has accelerated the development of antibiotic resistant bacteria, which has taken a toll in lives and in healthcare dollars. Social and economic impacts. While this is not a certain event that happened one time, it is a constant, recurring, and expanding problem. Not only does it affect several aspects of the different spheres, but it also does damage to smaller or family operated farms. You have loss of mid sized farms. Once the backbone of the U.S. agriculture, medium sized farms are a dwindling breed, which means that fewer and fewer people have make their living as farmers, a trend that has been bad for the economies of rural communities and farm states. Harm to neighboring downstream economies. Industrial agriculture can pack an economic wallop hundreds of miles from its origin. Just ask the local government and utility managers who must install expensive equipment to remove fertilizer byproducts from public drinking water supplies, or ask people who make their living from fisheries or tourism on the Gulf of Mexico and elsewhere, where dead zones and toxic algae blooms caused by farm runoff do damage with an annual price tag in the billions. CFOs, too, create pollution problems that reduce livability and depress poverty values in surrounding communities. And here are my sources.